Yo, 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 what's good? YouTube, what's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, the call-in show. This is number 17. We're moving right along with this show. Had a couple of Sundays off due to illness, but, when we're ready, we be in there. You know what I'm saying? So welcome, everybody, for this Sunday, November 28th, 2021, the last Sunday in the year of 2021 for November. And I want to say welcome, man. And I really appreciate the turnout that we had for last night's post-fight show. It was lit. We had lots of views last night. It was people from all over the world that were into that fight or those fight cards that we had a chance to enjoy yesterday, and they all wanted to tune in and hear what Stormybman had to say about it. Isn't that special? And I am not being condescending or sarcastic. This is really an uplifting moment in time when I can start to see those numbers increase like they're doing when people are really stopping by to hear the post-fight breakdown. And I know that some of the brothers out there who call the fights also send people over to check me out as well. And both Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens and myself, we are eternally grateful. And for those out there who are doing that, you know who you are, and we respect and appreciate your efforts in doing that. So, yeah, we are here this morning and off of another night of great fights, man. Boxing got it right yesterday. The only thing that they got wrong that I'll still have a thorn in my behind about is the fact that they keep making these fights overlap. If they would just take 2 hours in between their broadcast from the time that the first one starts and the time that the second one starts, we'd be good money on that. So please, people, be encouraged to let it be known that's what you would like. It's not that we prefer one over the other. We love boxing, okay? So emails, letters, calls to these, companies that broadcast, Showtime, DAZN, if you could get in touch with their PR reps and stuff like that, take the time out to do that. Because remember, they're vying for your dollar. And they could get all the dollars if they do things correctly. So just like the NFL has Sunday afternoon games and late Sunday afternoon games and then late evening Sunday night games, sometimes the games go long due to timeouts and injuries and different things like that. But ordinarily, from noon to 3 p.m., a game is done, and then the 3 p.m., 3:30 game starts. And then when that game is over, the 6 p.m. or 6:30 game starts. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? Because if you overlap these games, nobody's going to tune in. But it's different with college football, because college football is usually somebody is rooting for their alma mater or their city's or state's school playing, and that's even more, understandable. But man, boxing can do themselves a tremendous service. They can even have one card on a Friday night and another card on a Saturday night. There used to be a time when boxing had pay-per-views during the weekdays, a Monday night, a Thursday night. Yeah, I remember that. I think Tyson and Ruddock fought on a Thursday night. I saw that fight. I didn't have cable at the time for pay-per-view, so I went to a sports bar to check it out. Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock, first fight. Saw it at a sports bar on a Thursday night. You know what I mean? I think Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler took place on a Monday night. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I know it was one of those super fights, either between Leonard and Hagler, or it was one of those fights from their era. The pay-per-view, closed circuit, whatever, was on a Monday night, man. And we do so much better by, having those events like that. So spread out. But again, I want to get through this roll call. We got people out here that have been waiting for the broadcast to go live. We're going to start off with Jose Diaz out there. Salute to you, Jose. Thanks for coming back. Jose is starting to become a true regular of the channel and the chat, and we appreciate it. Next step, brother, is to go ahead and become a member. You know what I'm saying? Don't delay. Do it today. Huh? Yavi is out there, channel member, saying salute. Salute to you. Jason says no, responding to the poll. He says no, Cool Boy won. Now it's on to the next belt. King Jr. is out there saying salute Stormy B-Man in chat. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the T.O. versus Kambosos. You know what? Why weren't you in the post-fight show last night, King? Huh? You too busy up there with the queen? Bring your butt to the post-fight show so you can hear all the breakdowns. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're robbing yourself. Huh? Didn't you just hear me tell you about the record-breaking numbers that I had on the post-fight show last night? What you doing? Get your butt in there. Huh? And Chi-Town Finest, my man, is out there saying blessings and love, family. Chi-Town, was that you that just had a birthday recently? If it was you, happy birthday. Belated. If it was not you, I apologize because I had heard one of the brothers that's over there supporting KQKC and helping them out, it just had a birthday. So I'm trying to get that correct. So forgive me if I'm incorrect on that. K-Rod, the phone man, is out there saying salute Stormy, salute to you. And who else we got out here? Dwayne Jones is saying bless up from Atlanta. You know what it is. What's good with you, Dwayne? Glad to see you out there. Devin Blocker, channel member, is out there saying Stormy B-Man salute. Salute to you. Jose Diaz said facts. And he said spread them apart so we could watch all of them. Yes, sir. You know, that's just 2 hours. Isn't that amazing? It's not like 4 or 5 hour wait. It's like 2 hours. You could actually get away with 1.5 hours because the overlapping usually prevents you from seeing the opening card of the second show. You know? So they, with a small adjustment like that, man, they could feed us well with the sport of boxing. Huh? MPWTF is out there saying salute Stormy B-Man and chat family. Salute to you. And Jose says Friday and Saturday sounds like a good deal. You're correct. Yep, and then we'll have a ton to talk about in this 2 hour show on Sunday morning. You know what I mean? That's what it was, bro. Let's see. Jose Diaz says 100. Chi-Town Finest says it was Underground Asylum, Stormy. His birthday was yesterday. Okay, thank you for that. And if Underground is here today, happy birthday, belated birthday to you, Underground. And even if you're not here, but you happen to catch us on replay, know that I'm shouting you out for your birthday. Because just like KQKC says, you know, birthdays are important. And when we get older, they really become important. Because, you know, you might be having less of them on the horizon. You never know. So you got to be, you know, on top of that. Let's see. Okay, and Chi-Town is correcting us in the chat as well. It was Underground Asylum. Copper Aborigines, my man, is out there saying salute Stormy B-Man in the chat. He says, hey, T.O., ain't no fun when a hunter becomes the game. And he says, ain't no fun when the rabbit gets the gun. Bob Arum sick this morning. That's a lot of crow. Yeah, Bob Arum been sick for a couple of weeks, man, thanks to Terrence Bud Crawford. Big time, huh? Who we gonna blame now? Blame T.O. There you go. Mr. Paz is out there saying, Sensei, who do you want to see next for Fulton? And also for Gary Antonio Russell. We could talk about that. Big homie Coop is in the house. He says, salute Sifu. Back smack the like button, people. Class is in session, so pay attention. That's my juice right there. Y'all better listen to Big homie Coop because he's telling you the truth. Huh? And MPWTF says, what happened to T.O.'s eye? Well, I can tell you what happened to it. He got smashed to bits, mate. Big homie Coop says salute to all the family in the chat. Yes, sir. We all caught up on the chat now, man. But hey, man, I'm going to tell you something. It's always great to come back at these guys who make fools and asses of themselves, huh? And that's one of the guys, Tiafimo, huh? He's made an ass of himself, and his dad has made an ass of both of them. So they have to pay that. They have to pay that cost, man. And spare no expense. Make sure that they feel it in their wallet and in their ass, huh? Because that's what they've been to the boxing world, the boxing public, and some of the professional fighters out there. I spare no expense at going in on those guys because ignorance is not bliss, huh? It's embarrassing. So go sit your butts down somewhere, the Lopez's, and get studied up on the sport of boxing, huh? Learn some techniques and skills, strategies, huh? Game plans, and start over. That's what I got to say about them. You know what I mean? People popping in. Copper Aborigines out there. He laughing. MP. And Mr. Paz, everybody cracking up. He says, smash to bits, mate. A condo. He's out there. He says, facts. He cracking up as well. Listen, man. I was just a notch short of being a class clown when I was in school, man. The only thing that kept me from being a total class clown is because my parents didn't really play that mess. But I love to cut up, man. That's why I be saying stuff sometimes. Some of you guys, and my humor is it's adult humor. It'll go over your head, but then you have to think, did he just insult me? Yeah, sure did. You ready for another one? So, yeah, that's what that's all about, man. But, hey, we can get down into the show, man, and start talking about these subjects. But it's great to be up on a Sunday morning talking boxing, ain't it? It's like, especially fresh off of the fights that you may have seen from the night before, you know what I mean? And you still have that, it's that thing that you're riled up. You're still ready to have a discussion on what you saw, huh? And we've been dealing with that for a while in this third quarter of the year, man. We've seen a lot of good fights, man. And hey, I have to be honest. The Zone has stepped it up, man, in this fourth quarter. They've put some pretty darn good fights on. So, excuse me, for those who have been kind of ribbing the Zone for what they're doing or what they've done in the past or haven't done in the past, just know that a lot of these fights that we're seeing currently, the Zone is putting it together, man. They're actually getting their act together. So, can't complain when they're delivering. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's see, we got a few more comments in here. Jose Diaz said Tio got the brakes beat off from last night. And Copper Aborigine said, Stormybman, I wanted to be a class clown, but that fear hit me because I knew what would happen at home. No laughing matter there. Listen, man. See, we of that same generation, Copper. So I know what you mean. You know, we from that generation when your parents, over anything outside of your household where you lay your head to go to sleep, that's what you listen to. You didn't listen to your friends. You didn't listen to other folks. It's like, because if you didn't, there was hell to pay, huh? I'd rather listen to what my daddy say than to go out there and be playing like ain't nobody ever told me how to act and then come home and face my dad. You understand? And while my dad is giving it to me, you know what I mean? My mom is reaching around too, getting hers in, you know. Yeah, hit that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, Copper Aborigines, we know, right? We know. These fools today, their parents is only 10, 12 years older than them, huh? So that's like a big brother or sister. Think about that for a minute, huh? Yeah. Pause and think about that for a minute. Your parent is only 12, 14 years older than you. Something wrong with that equation, huh? There you go. Let's see what we got. C. Wood is out there saying, salute, Stormy. Boxing at MSG was the zoo last night. Nearly got myself jumped by T.O.'s Honduran fans. I was rooting loud as hell for Camboso. Don't tell me they was trying to jack you up inside the garden, man. Don't you know you gotta take some people with you? You can't be like these dudes on the LDBC, man, when they be saying, I'm going to the fights and I'm waiting on somebody to step to me because I'm wearing my hat, I'm wearing my shirt or whatever, because they got backup, man. It's like you don't go in there and be like, yeah, T.O. going down, and you sitting in the damn T.O. row and stuff like that. You don't do that, man. Use your thinkums, son. Thinkums, huh? Think of them. Thems. See what I'm saying? It works out for you if you listen to Stormybman. I'm telling you. Mr. Paris says, I feel like T.O. showed that he lacks that elite winning mentality yesterday. He should have admitted to Camboso's being better on the night. T.O. Sr. also shouldn't have told T.O. that he was winning. Listen, man. That whole, and I got potty mouth this morning, that whole shit show that is the Lopez, that's today's era as opposed to the right way of doing things. I'm just going to say that. They are perfect representations of how not to be sports representatives, huh? Role models, as they like to say. Because remember, when some of us mess up and everything, they will say, what type of role model is that? Well, what type of role model is that? He couldn't even give his son correct instructions in between the rounds. Huh? You ever heard of jab? Huh? Get your damn hands up to protect yourself. Huh? How many times for those who watch my channel and my content heard me speak on those things? Huh? He's out there trying to knock the guy out, going berserk and ballistic in the first round, but he's the one end up on the canvas. How hilarious was that? Huh? And then he gets up and try to act like it didn't happen. How about the post fight where he says he thought he won 11-2? Yeah, that's what came out his mouth. 11-2. It's 12 rounds, man. That's 13 rounds in your head. You can't even count. Go get to the back of the class and sit your behind down somewhere, T.O. And let your dad go sit out in the alley somewhere, huh? If my dad acted like that, I could not, he my dad, I love him, but you can't be a part of this career thing, bruh. Huh? Behaving like that. Total misrepresentation. That's how you know now they've been lying about everything. They've been lying about the sparring that he supposedly got and got jacked up and everything. Lied about that. Lied about fighting his contemporaries. Because you know what they want? They want the bag. Huh? Well, he ended up in the bag yesterday, didn't he? The body bag. So go sit your butt down somewhere and learn something about the sport of boxing, brother. Because you don't know a damn thing. And your dad don't either. Huh? I hate that type of ignorance because the cameras be all up in their grill. That's what you see on TV morning, noon, and night. If you got the zone, you subscribe to that, you see that they had all these shows on T.O. Commercials and stuff with him in the gym, hitting the bag and little sweat or sprayed water on him that he got dripping off of him, like he is some kind of real quality representation in the sport of boxing when there are so many others. They had that kid, Raymond Ford, on that undercard last night. Nice, young, up-and-coming fighter. That fighter, it should have been more time spent talking about him. He's one to watch. Huh? About as professional as he can be. T.O. and these guys, man, get out of here with that crap. And they're always putting them guys out on front, putting them in front of the cameras and the microphones. But if you heard Bob Arum talk about him, and he don't talk about him as much as he talk about some others, right? But he basically told you T.O. is a shit show. Eddie Hearn told T.O. to his face, you're not undisputed. And aren't you signed with another promoter? Where are your ethics, T.O.? You running around here trying to secure a bag, but you haven't even secured the fact that as a professional fighter, you got to carry yourself with a certain amount of aplomb and class, of which you both have none, you and your dad. So go sit down somewhere, bro. Going back to the chat for a moment. It's moving kind of fast now. Smash that like button as you come in, people. We got a little more viewing than we have likes. We like to get those likes up, man, because you guys got up early on a Sunday. For some of you, it's early. For some of you, it might be late. For some, it's still just starting. So it's like, hey, man, smash the like button. You come here, it's obvious worth your time. So make it doubly worth your time. Just smash that like button, huh? Jose Diaz says, Copper, yeah, he did well in a couple of rounds, but look at the end result. Got lumped up. Props to Cambosis. Copper Aborigine says, I clowned at home, not in public or school, for real. That's right. Big Homie Coop is saying facts. Machiavelli Mafia is out there. Salute to you. Big Homie Coop says, you're not lying, Stormy B, man. Mr. Pass says, grandfather at 35. Laugh out loud. Yeah, man, I'm not lying, am I? Am I? I'm not lying. Talking about these young ass kids having kids. And then they become parents. But what kind of parents are they? And that's why you got a lot more problems, man. Huh? Jose Diaz saying true. Seawood saying yes, sir. Copper Aborigine says, my parents were 35 years older than I was in their prime. Yes, sir. Of real pros of ass whippings. Yes, sir. Underground Asylum is out there, channel member. He says, all facts. Salute to you, Underground. I was wishing you a happy belated birthday, bro. I thought it was Chi-Town Finest, and he corrected me, and he said it was you. So I hope you had a great birthday. I hope you enjoyed the fights as a part of your birthday. And if your guys won, happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy all of it, Underground. C. Wood says the entire section was T.O. Oh, my goodness. Jose Diaz says, fact, it doesn't make sense. Chi-Town Finest says, all truth. Big Homie Coop saying, preach. And smash the like button, Chi-Town Finest says. Everybody else, they laughing. Copper says, a trained jab works all the time. That's right. That's right. That's the number one tool in your boxing toolbox. But you can see how incomplete T.O. is, right? Because where was his, huh? Sitting at home in the gym with cobwebs on it in the locker there where he put his smelly jock straps and stuff. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Because he damn sure didn't bring it to the fight last night. But you could believe Mr. Cambosis brought his, didn't he? Huh? Evidenced by T.O.'s face when the fight was over. Yeah, that's all. Machiavelli Mafia is out there saying, Stormy, did you see after T.O. Sr. says, we shouldn't have messed with the zone. We should have stayed with Top Rank who love us. Shaking my head. They can't accept the L. I didn't see that, but I'm glad I didn't. It would just give me more source material to murder these bums. Huh? And I call them bums, not like bum fighters. They just bum individuals. Huh? Because look at how they moving, bro. They moving like cockroaches out here. The mama roach and the baby roach. And in 7 days from now, when he lay the egg, it'll be 30 more of them. 15 male, 15 female. And that's what they dump into the world. Smash them roaches, bro. Like George Kambosos. That's how you handle that, man. Get out of here with that foolishness. We should have stayed with Top Rank. Man, if you don't go sit down somewhere. Copper says, facts, Stormy B, man, facts. It makes no sense, but they together in this. Absolutely. T.O. Junior is his dad's son. And that's where he's learning all of the foolishness from. So that means that his dad is the source of foolishness. So he must be what? Foolish. Talking all that stuff. Do you remember him at the presser this week? Wednesday, I think it was. And he's out there talking about Kambosos' dad and family. And he out there with the mic like he the one gonna fight. Where is the class, brother? Where is the class? When you got people like this representative, you don't give them no damn mics. Huh? Just tell them, show up here, sit over there, take some pictures, and we'll tell you when it's over. Huh? Because everything that comes out is filthy. And everything that they have to offer for anyone else or whatever is insulting. Huh? Disrespectful. That's not entertainment. That's ignorant tainment. Yeah. They create a whole new word for the dictionary with their foolishness. Go sit down somewhere. You know what I mean? Mr. Pass says exactly. T.O. Senior wants that trip to the Bahamas badly. Wants to sip some pina coladas on the beach, only there for the money. That's it. That's it. Jafari Caesar is out there. He says, salute to you. Jose Diaz says, he hadn't looked in the mirror yet. Man, I'm telling you, when you see the fighters at the end of the fight and they're banged up, that looks pretty, it looks pretty bad and gross, right? But you need to see them a day or two after the fight, when all that swelling and stuff has set in. You guys remember when Manny Pacquiao finished his fight with Ugas? His eyes were, swelling shut. He looked kind of battered, right? But when they showed him like 24 to 48 hours later, and Janky was feeding him some soft food, that's because he couldn't see. His eyes was shut. Huh? He can't even, if he can't see the bowl to dip his spoon in. Boxing is brutal, bro. And if you don't have the right people around you, you just be utterly brutalized in a brutal sport. Pacquiao lucky that Janky stayed by his side through all of this stuff. And that ain't the first time that he was battered like that. But that's a perfect example. T.O. gonna look like a monster. Tomorrow, today, I should say today, because the fight was last night, or the next day. And there's something else to be said about his skin. He ain't used to getting hit, right? And that boy, Kambosos, and I call him boy because he's young enough to be my son, but he banged him all night long, just like he was supposed to. Kept that jab in his face. Fat. You gonna come in here, here's a right hand for your pleasure. Pop! Yep. Did exactly the right thing all night long. All night long. Shh. Guys are a joke, man. I'm telling you. Chat moving quite along right now. Let's see. I might have to select some things, some items to read now because it's moving along so much. Let's see. Copper says now Devin can, excuse me. Devin can move on. Tank can move on. Shakur can move on. And Kambosos can either fight either of these three now. T.O., how does it feel to be on the outside looking in? For real, today or yes, last night. Yep. Jose Diaz says, Stormy B, man, T.O. dad on something. Some kind of upper, if I'm wrong, forgive me. Yeah, man. Yeah, he is on something. That's why you have to call it out, for what it is. Jose Diaz says, greed. Yes, sir. Jefferari. I'm trying to pronounce your name correctly. Jefferari Caesar says, this is what happens when you duck. Yep. Mr. Mechanical is out there. He says, salute Stormy B-Man. Salute to you. Underground says, I appreciate it. Stormy. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Who else we got? 704 Joe is in the house. Yes, sir. Jose Diaz says, Haney has his window. He's going to be undisputed soon. Yes, sir. MP says, he kept his eye on that right hook. Yes, sir. Machiavelli Mafia says, haha, Unc, he said that. Yep. Eric R is in the building. He says, salute to Stormy B-Man. Salute to you, Eric. Good to see you, bro. Copper says, y'all asked Stormy B-Man where we learned to bob and weave. It was at home when that switch was working on us. Or that house shoe got thrown at you. You was like, shoot, let me slip. Shoot. Yeah, and they get mad, right? She throw the house shoe at you. You slipped out. When she throw the other one at you, you slip again. Then she throw the TV remote and it hit you. Bam! You're like, damn, why couldn't I slip that one? That's what it is. Dwayne Freeman is out there saying, salute Stormy B-Man. Salute to you. Eric says, Cambosos need to be a lesson to all these dark-winged ducks. Absolutely, man. Jose Diaz says, I had my first daughter when I was 16. My lady was 14. We still together. Well, I would hope, Jose Diaz, that you're at least 40 now. I'm not asking, but I'm just saying, I hope that you're at least 40 now. Because if you're at least 40 now, you're still part of an era when certain things meant something, you know? So understand, when I pointed that out about the age factors, I'm not saying that was par for course, right? I'm saying that we moved into an era when that became a regular thing, and it set us in a different place as a society, you know? And that's real talk. Let's see. Underground says, Sensei, T.O. couldn't get out of the way of the overhand right to save his life, but I thought it was going to be Cambosa's left hook that was going to be the Lopez kryptonite. You know something? In a certain way, Underground, it was, because after T.O. got caught by Cambosa's left hook on the inside, because T.O. throws a wide sweeping left hook, right? Because he likes to leap in with it. But Cambosos throws a short hook like you're supposed to. Excuse me, textbook. Short shot on the inside and boom. You know, you get hit with a couple of those, you're going to be a little bit mindful of trying to put yourself in that position to get hit with that consistently. Cambosa's tools were working to perfection. His jab was on. His straight right was on. His left hook was on. The only thing he didn't engage a lot in is body work because it wasn't necessary. Everything else was working. Did you see T.O.'s face after that fight? Dude, none of that came from a headbutt. None of it. It all came from Cambosos' fists. Yeah. Dynamite work, bro. Dynamite work. But look here, I'm gonna see if I could do some things here. Ooh, boy. Get on up here. I'm trying to set some things up here, people. We got says we got 45 in the building. It may be a few more than that, but smash that like button, people. And we're gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines for people that want to call in, discuss last night's fights, or whatever's on your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of comments in the chat, and I can't keep up with that, as well as, you know, everything else I'm doing, producing the show. So we're going to open it up, let you guys call in, and we can talk about it. So salute to the queen, Ashley's Corner out there. She says, I've been listening to you speaking the truth. Salute to you, queen. I appreciate that, man. She says, salute, Stormy B, man. It's over for T.O. Oh, man. When the ladies say it's over, man. Oh, I got no faith in him. Let's see. We got first caller. Okay, caller 518. Welcome to the show. Who's calling? Who's calling, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's up, Stormy? It's K-Rap calling.
The phone man. I knew I'd hear from you this morning. What's good with you, K-Rod? How you doing? Hey, everybody. Just know that I call K-Rod the phone man because he keep it on speed dial, man. He be ready to speak his piece. I wish a few more of you get that kind of courage like that. But he's already got that moniker, the phone man, so you'll have a different one if you start like he do it. What's good with you, man?
Oh, man, I'm so happy. I was partying last night, and, man, honestly, I really should have went to that fight last night because I knew Madison Square Garden was going to get packed, but I didn't want to do it simply for all the fights that were probably going to break out after the Teofimo Cambosos fight.
Did they kind of hold their peace, though?
No, as far as what?
The fans in the state. Are you in New York?
I'm in Albany, but I can go to New York City if I actually wanted to, by train.
Okay, but what I'm asking though is, like, as far as you heard, they didn't get unruly right after the fight. Matter of fact, I thought I heard people booing Tio when it was over. Am I right on that?
I was hearing that there was a lot of fights that broke out after the fight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they did act a fool.
Yeah.
They gonna make me lose my mind in here, up in here.
Yeah, it was wild.
Oh man, that's man. I'm gonna tell you something. It couldn't have happened to a worse guy. You understand? T.O. got his butt handed to him, man, and that's the boxing gods blessed us last night. That's all I'm gonna say. Because listen, man, he's a horrible representation of the sport of boxing, and he got those belts because basically Lomachenko lended them to him. Yes, he got the decision over Lomachenko, but Lomachenko didn't fight for the first half. And then when he did fight, he started closing in on Teofimo. And he's probably, listen, I wouldn't want to be Lomachenko's next opponent because he's probably kicking himself saying, I can't believe I let this young punk take my belts. And now he's giving them to another guy, you know, and the other guy did exactly what I was supposed to do to him. Because let's be honest here. Is Kambosos better than Lomachenko?
I'd probably say no.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But look what happens. Yeah. Look what happens. So, you know, you can't help but to be like, oh, damn, as they used to say. You know, it's like, yeah. And you saw what Lomachenko did to Nakatani when he was on his comeback. You know, he was like, I got to go out here and reestablish myself. And he beat the crap out of Nakatani. And I had favored Nakatani because of how poor Lomachenko looked against Tio. Because it looked like he was too afraid to try something or whatever. If he was actually injured, maybe that's the case. But listen, I don't take on the injury factor when you're getting your ass in the ring, huh? If you're injured, you're injured. If you got nagging nicks and bumps, you know, you're going to have that as a professional fighter. Hell, you've been sparring for 12 weeks. You understand? So, but if you're in there on fight night, we expect you to freaking fight. If you can't give your best effort on fight night, don't get in there. Yeah, I know payday on the line and all of that stuff, but we don't want to hear that when the fight is over. We don't. You know? But yeah, what else? What else you got, K-Rod?
Yeah. I also wanted to add in on that note, the way Tia looked like against Kambosos, imagine if that was Gervonta Tank Davis fighting on that night. I think, honestly, Tia wouldn't have said all that crap after that fight was over. He definitely showed that he can get obliterated if you catch him on a bad night.
Yeah, I actually am of the belief that he was never going to fight Devin Haney, Gervonta, and some of the other guys. He was not going to fight them because they were really looking to do a snatch and grab, you know, and dash on out the door. That was their thing. That's why they went for that Triller money. That's why, you know what? He didn't win those belts and then say, I'm gonna build my brand. He started looking at what's the next most lucrative thing for them to do. You're already going to be in a different income bracket because you've become the unified champion. And you even reserve the right to possibly have a soft touch. But in this instance, I think Kambosos is number one contender status or something like that was at the top of things. So he had to fight this guy. But you buckle down, you focus in on this task at hand, take care of that, and then start looking to make some money moves. But he was parading around along with his dad like they had really done some stuff. But when you saw what Nakatani suffered against Lomo, and you know that Lomo wanted a rematch, they were staying far away from that. Remember, from go, they were like, we're not giving them a rematch. There was no rematch clause, so we're not giving them a rematch. They don't even want to acknowledge the fact that a guy can have a bad night and want to come back and gain redemption for himself. Well, you know, when you deny the guy that gave you the opportunity, you look real classless because T.O. wasn't always there, but Lomachenko had been there for a few years, you see? And let's just face it, whether you like Lomachenko or not, he deserved a rematch. And these people were moving so funny that they weren't going to allow that to happen. But the only problem is he's amongst the landscape of peers that are every bit as good as he is, if not better. So he really didn't have nowhere to go. And we saw last night that Kambosos was better, head and shoulders. Did you see that man operating behind his jab and his right hands? He could have hit that man with a right hand anytime he threw it. And the last thing T.O. could do was get his hands up to protect his damn self. Because he was too stupid, because he fought so many guys that didn't belong in the ring with him, that he was far superior to, that he developed a bad habit of low hands. You can't keep your hands low at the top of the division, man. You're going to get your head knocked off. Did you see how he looked after the fight? Yeah. That's what happens.
Could I also...
Go ahead.
Could I also... a common flaw that Teofimo likes to do, he likes to duck under when he tries to go in for those looping hard overhand rights, right? And I think that's what's going to get him caught to get knocked out sooner than later, because I don't think he has like that good ring IQ that he possesses to actually watch out for those type of punches that he tries to go in with, because I think what the issue with him is that he thinks like that his power is unstoppable whenever he tries to hurt somebody. So he just comes in with that mentality to say, okay, well, I'm just going to come in with crazy ass punches because, you know, if I can hurt you, but you can't hurt me, then I'm just going to come in thinking that I could just stop you early. But obviously, if I can't hurt you late game, then, you know, I'm basically I'm going to start fading late game. And I think the Lomachenko fight easily proved that Teofimo, he fades a lot late game. And if you hit him at good sweet spots, Teofimo, he's going to get clipped and he can easily get knocked out. And like I said, if that was Gervonta Tank Davis last night fighting Teofimo, he wouldn't even be like basically talking right now. He would have been sent like right to the hospital.
Yeah, there's something else that I just thought about as you were talking too. Richard Comey, T.O.'s victory over him is a lot like Kambosos' victory over T.O. He just caught Comey, and Comey had bad habits. He was a guy who always wing his shots. He's wide open, and T.O. threw a punch from the gods, as Anthony Joshua liked to say. He timed him perfectly and smashed him with that shot and got him up out of there. But at the level that Comey fights at, which is championship caliber level, that should have been cleaned up. And that's why he lost. He made T.O. look like Superman, but T.O. makes the same problems. He makes the same mistakes. So when he got in there with a guy who was more textbook disciplined, it happened to him. Huh? He's very lucky that Kambosos didn't throw, which I asked last night in my post-fight show. The only thing that I would have loved to see Kambosos do was throw a few more of those damn right hands. He could have got him out of there because he couldn't miss with it. He couldn't miss. You set it up by doing other things, but you always come back to it. He threw the right hand too few times for me. But that's just me. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying that this is what I could have asked of him. You know? And as a trainer in the corner, I could see it and say, like, you know what? Give me, in this round, 6 right hands. In the next round, I might say, give me 4 of them. In the next round, I might say, give me 5 or 6. But you would see what I'm talking about come to fruition because T.O. couldn't get out of the way of the shot. He couldn't see the shot. And the shot was landing at a high percentage rate for Kambosos in the midst of everything else that was going on. And let's not forget that T.O. just followed him around the ring. He never cut the ring off. He never showed any angles. He never attacked coming forward behind a jab. So it was right there for him. All Kambosos would have needed to do is throw a couple of hard feints, make him faint, and feint him out of position. And the next step, he take right on the chin. 5 or 6 of those around, and the guy is going to go out because you're hitting him so clean. You see? But he still put on a wonderful performance. But that's just me, you know, wanting what I want. But more than anything, I wanted to see him victorious, and he was. And I said this in my pre-fight breakdown of these two guys. I said if Kambosos can take those single shots from him, because they have pop on him and he got fast hands, and sometimes you could get hit with a shot you just don't see. So if he can take T.O.'s single popping shots, it's going to be a fight. And that's exactly what it turned into. He could take the shots, and then he was not only did he take the shots, he was able to deliver his own. Much respect. And how about when he got dropped, K-Rod? He got dropped. Yeah. He was hurt. And it was later in the fight. So you're not only hurt, but you're a little fatigued too. He got up and used his moxie to survive that round and came back and won the next couple of rounds. That was beautiful, bro.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Teofimo should leave his father as a trainer, and he should definitely seek a new team, or he should probably just give up boxing, because I think the way he looks like now is going to show a lot more blueprints on the future for future opponents to beat him.
Well, this is the thing. He's already deeply rooted in his dad's BS. No other trainer is going to be able to take him away from that or whatever. What I would like to see him now is just step up to the plate when someone's looking for an opponent and fight his contemporaries. Win, lose, or draw. Because you're running from that responsibility as a champion. But to be able to remain in the sport, you got to fight these guys now. You got to fight them. And hopefully they kick his ass too. Because people like he and his dad don't deserve to be in the sport of boxing. They don't. Outcasts. Let's not forget the stuff he was saying about Deontay Wilder when Deontay Wilder lost. That was classless, bro.
Yeah.
Classless. You're talking about a heavyweight champion of the world who had 5 years of carrying his title and 10 title defenses. How many title defenses does Tio have as the unified champion? Because those belts are important to him, right? They were important enough for him to show up at Canelo's post-fight press conference and stand on the side of him, waving him like he was undisputed as well, even though he wasn't. So if Deontay carried his title for 10 times in and out of the ring, Tio couldn't do it once. So who's the real BITCH? Huh? Yeah.
Teofimo.
There you go. See what I'm saying?
I was just super happy, man. Javier Centeno, he's a beast.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing that I want people to understand about this is this. Character goes a long way. Poor character gets shut down quickly as soon as someone of substance and foundation, which is character, crosses paths with them. Character, and listen, you can show character in the ring and you can show character outside the ring. But you can't show ignorance in the ring, you get your ass whooped. And you can't show ignorance outside the ring because somebody could kill you in these streets. See the difference?
Yeah.
So what else you got, bro?
Oh, yeah. Final thing that I wanted to say before I get up out of here. What was your thoughts on the other fight, Stefan Fulton, Brandon Figueroa fight? Do you think Fulton got a robbery decision over Brandon Figueroa?
No, I don't think it was a robbery, but I do think that it was close enough that was one of those fights like Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano that it could have been a draw because Steph Fulton was the better boxer. But one thing he could not stop was the pressure that Figueroa put on him. And so thereby with ring generalship, the pressure that Figueroa applied made Steph choose to fight his fight. So you have to give Brandon some credit in that. Yes, they were both landing clean and solid shots on each other, and the rounds had swing action within the rounds, not just round by round, but within the rounds. Somebody start off well early, someone picks it up, then someone finishes stronger late. It's like, and that's only in a round. And it was like that for 12. But Steph could have got off those ropes, got back to the center of the ring, and just start running the points up on him by scoring the shots and then tying him up, making him reset and things like that. But because he fought Figueroa's fight, you have to give Figueroa more credit for enforcing that, even though it was Steph's choice to do it, because you could not beat Figueroa at his own game. You couldn't. You were supposed to best Figueroa's game. That's why Figueroa feels that he won. You see, because he's like, he didn't hurt me, he didn't stop me. And he's like, I hurt him a couple of times, which he was right that he did hurt Steph a couple of times. But you have to give a guy credit for the work he was doing as well. Cut the ring off, smother the guy, apply himself, and give him questions that he needs to answer. And Steph didn't do that. He scored a lot of points, but I'm telling you, this day, this morning, Steph is sore. He's sore. And that young man, Figueroa, he's a tough customer, bro. And I'm not saying it's, Stormy just like Figueroa. I'm telling you, man, styles can come to what we saw last night. And if it's a thing of like what style you like, people like Steph's style, fast hands, this and that. And he's a strong man inside because he didn't buckle under Figueroa's pressuring style, but he didn't opt to not engage in it either. So it's like you, in a way, you still give in to him, the guy. You know what I mean? So I could have seen a draw. I'm not mad that Steph won. You got a unified champion there, but it's like it could, and which one is the right decision? It's like if the guy you like won, okay. If the guy you didn't like won, okay. But there is also a thing you could do as a rematch. It's just like I felt when Sean Porter and Earl fought their fight. I was like, that fight could have had a rematch. It was so good. You know what I mean? And I think that the difference in it was it made it easier for the judges to score when he got that flash knockdown of Sean late in the fight. And that was enough to kind of like just say, okay, we'll give it to Earl because he bested him by that. It's like, but that was the kind of fight that you could have really seen, it being a draw or coming out for Sean or, let's run it back. That's one of the things the fighters of this era don't also do very much is run fights back. Just because you got me on this night don't mean you're better than me. Let's run it back. Let me go back and rededicate myself. Maybe there's some things I could have done in the gym. Maybe it's some conditioning I could have done to get me in a better place physically or mentally and let me come back. And when we do it a second time, if you beat me then, okay, you got me. See, these guys don't believe in that because they want it all their way. They want it one-sided, just like the opponents that they face before getting into a real test. They want, on paper, I want that guy that it says, I'll beat him. But they don't want the guy that on paper it says, I don't know, this is 50-50, or it's 60-40 or something not in your favor. That's the difference in boxing today. Hell, when, in the past era, guys who weren't even champions used to rematch each other all the damn time.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't even see that today at all. Guys who are not champion fighting each other multiple times. It's like, man, what I'm going to do that for? I got to wait this out. I might get a title shot. What? And still don't get the title shot. Get out of here with that foolishness.
Yeah. Do you think fighters are just too afraid to just take that risk and just go straight for prize fighting? Instead, they just go the more safer political route to avoid big fights and just go for the easy route.
And that's the thing. I don't think it's... See, when you talk about these guys that get in the ring, using the word afraid shouldn't be applied to them, because you got to be a special type of individual who want to get punched in the face for a living. I'm just going to put that out there. So being afraid, it takes a lot of cojones, because I ain't going to do it. You understand? I don't care how small or big my cojones are. I ain't getting in the ring to get punched in the face for a living. I ain't going to do that. But I do believe protecting their self-interest, and it differs by the individual. Your self-interests are different than mine. Mine are different than his. His are different than hers. You know what I'm saying? So it's more about whatever protecting their self-interest and where they place their goal. If their goal is to position themselves to a certain fight that can guarantee them a certain payday or whatever, then that's what they're going to stay focused on. If they want to test and challenge themselves and want to kind of prove their place in the sport and create legacy and things like that, then that person may be the person that everybody else don't want to fight, because the drive that they have alone makes them stay away from him, because he's a threat. He wants to be better than you. He doesn't care about how much y'all making at the end of the day. He just want to say, my skills are better than yours. There's not a lot of fighters out there today like that. There's a few, but not a lot. And when you're in a landscape where you're the minority, that's how you get frozen out. Look at Devin Haney. Devin Haney wants to prove he's the best. Ain't nobody trying to willingly jump in there with him. Terrence Crawford wanted to prove he's the best. Ain't nobody willing to try to jump in there with him. Deontay Wilder wanted to go for undisputed when he and AJ were both undefeated and everything. And the AJ side put up all these roadblocks because they wanted to just make generational wealth, which is easier at the heavyweight division with all those belts. The paydays are large. So that's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to gamble and lose it all to Deontay Wilder. And there's no guarantee that Deontay Wilder would have won the fight back then. You just didn't know. It's like, because you had people who still didn't respect Deontay's abilities and people who thought that AJ was the better fundamental boxer and all of this. And that was, remember, before AJ got exposed by Andy Ruiz as being, you know, maybe somewhat chinny and not being the most confident of guys and so forth and so on. So you just don't know how that dynamic would have played out if they had the opportunity back when it was the hottest that it could be. And that's how we get robbed in the sport of boxing. When people don't strike while the iron is hot, don't deliver the fights that people want to see, and don't want to test themselves with the challenges that are before them.
Yeah, because I'd say that's really like the biggest keystone missing in the sport of boxing, because not every fighter, especially, you know, at the top level, they're not facing like all the highest tier competition. And, you know, like whenever you do see those type of fighters not taking on the toughest challenges, then you get those type of fights where they look really bad by somebody that they're fighting that's unknown, and then they, you know, come out of their way losing pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably a fault of matchmaking, right? As far as, you know, how some of these fighters are moving.
Well, not necessarily matchmaking, because the fighter can demand, hey, give me somebody. You know what I mean? He can demand, give me somebody. He doesn't have to just take something because it's, you know, it's like that's the safe path or whatever. Fighters have a say-so, because you can't force them in the ring unless you're Don King. Don King used to make them guys fight for, I don't know what he had over them, but it's like they were in there, bro. on them multiple championship cards he used to have for pay-per-view and stuff, man, he had those guys out there. They be in there competing. So I don't know what happened today with fighters that Don is not promoting their events. I don't know. We're just in a different time. It's like a lot of softer considerations in all of this. You heard me just say a moment ago, there used to be a time when guys who were just contenders and journeymen fighting each other in rematches and stuff like that. That would be like the equivalent of you take a guy like Bryant Jennings, right, in the heavyweight division, and he's taking on a guy like Derek Chisora or what's the other cat's name? Takam, you know, and they fight 2-3 times. You understand? And guess what?
Yeah.
Those are pretty good matchups right there. I just named. It's like that'd be more fun than watching, you know, Tyson Fury take on a guy that you've never heard of in his first title defense or his second title defense, you know. And it's like, man, who is that guy? But you know, a couple of guys you're familiar with that have been there fighting with class individuals, and then they're gonna fight each other now. It's like, hey, 2-3 times, I can get with that. Salute to the brother Connor Loco Sports out there. I see you in the chat, Loco. And salute to the people that participated in the poll, because the numbers have really changed significantly. The quote that was, should Figueroa Fulton do it again? And 54% of you say yes, 46% say no. So almost, you know, half and half. That lets you know how good a fight it was. See, and that's why I put the simple poll up like that, because there are a lot of people, and I guarantee you the half that don't want it to happen again is because that might be those who their guy won, you know. But I give credit to the sport of boxing. When they make a matchup like that and these guys go for 12 rounds, you have to understand, for the type of fight that it was, both men expended a great deal of their own energies for 12 rounds to compete back and forth like that. It's really difficult just to say one guy is better. That's why you need the rematches, because the rematches will tell you who's really better. And if it happens to get to a trilogy, so be it. I'm not saying back to back to back, but I'm saying like even down the line, if they met at the higher weight for their third fight or something, that would be great. It's great for the sport of boxing. Look at Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales. Same thing. Got 3 great fights out of those guys.
Yep.
Yes, sir. So, but yeah, let's give someone else a chance to call in there. K-Rod, and we appreciate your call, bro. And you know, you're no stranger to the channel, so you're always welcome here, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you very much, and happy holidays.
Same to you, bro.
Alrighty. I'll see you later.
All right, peace. All right. That's the phone man, Mr. K-Rod, opening it up. We can get some more people to call in. Feel free. But yeah, that poll, it tells a lot, man, because that right there lets you know the fight was worthy of having a second go. A second go. Reading back in some of the comments in the chat, Jay Petty was like, Brandon is sore too. You know, I hate when guys get hung up on words, man. It's like, because I said that Steph is sore today, and you come back, oh, Brandon's sore too. I said, man, he threw some right hands. Oh, he threw some right hands too. Oh, he hit him with a good body shot. Oh, he hit him with a body shot too. Man, that's a bunch of foolishness, man. Where's my damn cursor at? Okay, salute to 214 in the house. Who's calling and what's on your mind?
704 Joe, Dallas, Texas. What's happening, Sensei?
Hey, 704. What's good with you, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, last night was one of the best nights of my life when it came to boxing.
Yeah, talk
this
about
dude,
it.
Man. This T.O. dude. You got guys, tough guys, the Mike Tysons, the A.B.s who talk, SHIT. But I've never seen someone as vile as that dude and his father in boxing. Never. I've never seen anybody that vile before in boxing. The way they throw around the word, I don't spar with N-words. I don't spar with N-words, N-word this, N-word that. And then you go into a man's camp and call them B's and H's, B's and H's. I know you from Chicago, Sensei. I'm from Dallas. When you called a man the B word, you had to fight.
Yeah.
In Dallas, anyway, you had to fight him. I've just never seen him so bad. I've never seen a fighter that vile in my life, ever.
Yeah, that's
and I was
why.
so happy.
That's why. I said what I said, 704 Joe, that he and his dad are bad for the sport. You have to call it what it is. I don't care if you share the same national pride or whatever as these guys. You have to be on the money about certain aspects of what people like that bring, because they actually bring your sport down to a level that you don't want it to remain at when they are representing. I don't like individuals like that. And understand that I've coached. So one of the huge and tremendous aspects of coaching is this. And salute to the brother Roderick Freelo out there saying, keep up the great work. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your donation to the channel and your support, man. We really appreciate that. Thanks, Roderick Freelo. One of the important factors and aspects of coaching is the mentorship factor. You mean to tell me that that's what Mr. Lopez Sr. has to offer as a coach? Well, I ain't taking my pupil. I'm not taking my son or nephew or whatever to his gym. That's not what I want my young one to learn, okay? Because there's a world and a life outside of the ring that they have to be developed and cultivated for, not just participating in a sport where someone looks at your skin color and they try to use tribalism, okay? In the world, they use tribalism, but it's basically rooted in capitalism and things of that nature. So that's a whole nother lesson. But if you give them the correct lesson in the sport that they participate in, they can function better in society. Because if you're doing it from the correct aspect of mentorship, you're preparing them for both worlds at the same time. You see?
Yeah, Stormy, let's just say the WBA, WBO, and all the sanctions, they knew, but we know that these dudes are not good for boxing, man. They're not. How do you get booed in your own city? How do you get booed in your own city, man? That's how bad it is. Yeah. And his father said they was booing the decision. No, they weren't booing the decision. They were booing you.
Yep.
And for the Lomo situation, like you say, man, Lomo gave the fight away. Yep. Last night, the guy beat him, asked him, do you want a rematch? He says, I got to go home. What fighter says he's got to go home and think about it after rematch? What fighter says, I need to think about it if you really love the sport and you really want to get back. Why would you say that?
Yep.
My thing is with T.O., it was about the money. Now he's not going to get the money because he only got $600,000 in the last fight. And now he has to chase Haney. Haney don't have to chase him anymore. Lomo don't have to chase him anymore because why? They love the sports. They want the belts. You get the belts, you get the money. He wanted fame. Nobody knows who T.O. is but us. That's it. Boxing people. Don't nobody know who T.O. is, man.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
And the fact that he burned so many bridges with his, I just call it a cancerous mouth. Both he and his dad, they should be held to the stone for that by all the other fighters. Don't forget. Don't forget. Because he lied to the public. He lied to the fighters. He lied to the media people.
Yep.
The only reason they are there is for the bag. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
And guess what?
Yep.
You ain't going to eat off of me now that you lost your opportunity. You're going to have to go dig in the garbage can for some scraps, brother, because I'm not inviting you, welcoming you, opening an avenue for you to sit at my table. You see what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder when Deontay opened up his to him? Let there be a lesson to us all. When you have an inanimate object, which is now the Lopez family, they on the outside. They don't get Par Gras to come in because they wasn't going to let nobody else in. Think about that. Cambosos.
Also, Sensei. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Cambosos actually tried to show sportsmanship in the ring. And they basically took that and spit in his face and come over there and start interrupting his interview and everything. That man just won. This is his moment.
Right,
you in
right,
there, you
right.
didn't get a chance to do your damn backflips and all of that stuff because you got your ass whooped. Go sit the hell down somewhere. And that's what his dad was supposed to tell him, and he didn't, which is another thing of why you hold those kind of fools accountable. They're just ignorant people, and they don't deserve the respect that comes with this sport when individuals fight and compete at a championship level and they don't reflect that. There's supposed to be a line of discipline, and they just erased it. So why do they deserve the consideration? Get the hell out of here.
Right.
And I'll let you say what you got to say. Just let me read this super chat real quick. General Squirrels out there in the super chat. Thank you for your super chat. He says, Stormy uploading that boxing data. You know it. That's what I do. And I don't do it with pride. I do it with the mentorship of wanting to share it, bro, to help everyone else that open them up to see things from a different point of view. That's all. Go ahead, 704. Appreciate you, man.
And the first thing out of his mouth, the father's mouth, is after the fight, we going dancing, we going partying. For what? You just got your butt kicked. Why are you going partying and dancing and all this? That lets me know they're not focused. They don't love the game. They love the so-called fame, but they don't love the game, man. They don't love the game. Showing off your belts. Taking all 6, 7 belts to somebody else's fight, Canelo, and taking pictures with a belt. That would be equivalent to me if I was a cowboy and I was a rookie and I would wear my jersey to the club. You know what I mean? I would wear my jersey to the club or something.
Yeah.
Who do stuff like that? Who do stuff like that, man?
Absolutely.
Who do stuff like that? And then on this, he had this Mayweather attitude, like, well, Haney, I tell you what, I'll fight you in 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years, I'll fight you. I tell you what, Haney, you fight Tank and I might fight the winner. Haney, you don't sell tickets. I have the belts. All of that was delusional, man. Lomo gave you the belts. Lomo Lomo screwed that fight up. Lomo's better than him. Lomo can beat him, but Lomo waited too late for that fight, man. He waited too late to start in that fight. He waited too late, man. But yesterday was I was so happy, man. I was so happy, man. I was so happy because the way those people treat people, man.
You know the
that
best.
N-word, that B-word, oh, man.
Yeah, right.
I never... we got loudmouths, we got ABs, we got some Charlos, but nothing like that, man. Nothing like that. I've never seen nothing like that. Never.
That's what I'm talking about. When you have individuals like that, the best way to shut them up, shut them down, you get them in that ring and you take care of your business. A loss puts them on the outside of things. That's all. Kambosos did his job, bro. And thank goodness the judges did theirs, because I was a little concerned, I have to admit. You had 2 New York judges and a New Jersey judge.
Yeah.
That could have all gone in the favor of Teofimo, just on region. But those people weren't regional. And maybe, and I said this last night on Reggie's live stream after our post-fight show, maybe he burned bridges with those people too. Yeah. With his ignorant speak and representation. Yeah. And they were like, if we get the chance to just give it to Kambosos, we're going to do it. You know what I mean? I would hate to think that that's the end result of things, but it's highly probable.
That was the result. Sensei, that was the result, man. He burned too many bridges. Boxing said no to him last night. Boxing said no. On every level, boxing said no.
Yeah.
They said no. No, he burned too many bridges, man. I'm going to say one more thing. Kambosos, man. I didn't see no fear in his eyes, man. I've seen people try to fake the funk, you know what I mean? Like, they're not scared, they're not tough. That man believed everything he said, man. He said he was going to beat him, and he did it, man. He did it.
Absolutely.
He did
it. And the great part of that
now,
is...
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I want to see him fight Haney next. Who do you think he's going to fight next?
You want to see who fight Haney next? Kambosos?
Kambosos, yeah.
Yeah, he said that he's the type of fighter, if he were to win, he would go straight on into a fight with Devin Haney if that was possible. Now, what's more realistic?
That's boxing.
What's more realistic?
That's boxing. F that 3 to 5 year stuff, man. F that you fight him, or you wait in line, or you on that side of the street. Take it back to the 80s and the 90s, man. Take it back.
I hear what you're saying, brother. Let me finish my comment here. I was saying that's probable, but that's definitely a probable scenario. But what's more likely is he may get a title defense in his own country just to show, you know what I'm saying? It's like to get a victory in his country, make some money and stuff like that. That's what's more than likely to happen. And then the Devin Haney fight can take place sometime next year. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kambosos did a coming home type deal.
Yes.
And defend the titles in that regard, and then go into a unification if he's sincere about what he said. Now, if he's not sincere about what he said, politics can come into this, and it can turn into something else. But I don't think that Kambosos will fight Haney next. I just don't think that's going to be the scenario. If it is, great. But I do think, like, you have to give a guy a chance to win some money, you know, or earn some money. Right. And I think that's what will be. But I don't think that Haney should be made to wait a very long time, nor should Kambosos wait. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He deserves a homecoming fight. He deserves a big payday. And like he said, and I believe this, man, he said they can put 80,000 to 90,000 people in seats in Australia. And I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. So like you say, let him get his money and fight Haney, and then we'll move on. Man, I love the show, man. I love the show. But last night was beautiful. I loved it, man. I loved it.
Well,
okay, man.
Well,
Peace.
thank you
have
for
a
that.
great day.
Hey, check it out. 704 Joe. Last night's show was one of our most viewed post-fight shows, man. Reggie and I were talking about that behind the scene, man. We had several thousand people in the building, man, and salute to everybody that supported that. And that was great stuff, because that wasn't even a major fight, but it's like that was more than the Canelo, when we had Canelo. So it's like there's people tuning in. There's people tuning in, and I am grateful for everyone that's out there supporting in that regard. Appreciate it.
All right. Let's grow the show, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace, man. Right. Thanks for your call.
All right. Peace.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Great call from 704 Joe, man. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to see something happen, and they got what they wanted last night. One of the rare occasions in boxing that so many people wanted the same thing, and they were blessed with that. So, boxing can only go up. You know what I mean? When it gets it right like that. Okay, phone lines are open. Someone else wants to call in, please do so. The phone lines are open. Yave is out there. I see you put a phone emoji up there. If you want to call in, go ahead and call in, bro. Yave. Cop average. He says Cambosos took the cap off the lid. These boxing organizations are going to stop everything. We shall see sooner or later. He says T.O. is not one of the four kings. There are Cambozos in the mix now. Yes, sir, Copper. You're right. You're absolutely right. But, man. He says, Stormybman, please, UPS, T.O. a box of Kleenex. Oh, man. What we got here? Okay, we got 443 in the building. Who's calling? Welcome to the show, and what's on your mind? Okay, they hung up. Whatever. Yep. See, salute to Nitty G. I see you out there, brother. Who else we got? Dank Father is back. Talking junk. Who else we got? Okay, 443, you're in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Okay, that's enough for that, 443. You can go sit down somewhere. Okay, we got 732 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on? Stormybman. This is Off Strength. I'm from Jersey.
This is who?
Off Strength. I subscribe to your channel, but I'm still like on a 5-week wait to get in.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the show, bro. What's on your mind?
Hey, man. Some good fights last night. Caught the Figueroa Fulton. Good scrap. Good close fight. I mean, I feel like Figueroa could have won, but I think Fulton, he was just popping his head up with too many uppercuts, too many hooks, a lot of good shots he was catching them with. But honestly, I think the decision was right. Based off those things. But yeah, good scrap. But on to the main fight. main fight everybody was talking about, the Teofimo fight. Man, what I got from that is just his dad is just like, because I heard on YouTube, like you catch videos here and there, people make fun of his dad saying he's on crack, he's on cocaine, he's on this, he's always acting wild, but I didn't really pay no mind to it. I was just like, he's his dad, he just cares about his kid, he's enthusiastic. But when I saw what he was saying in the corner, like in between rounds, he was like, yo, knock this guy out already, bro. What are you waiting for, bro? I'm like, damn, this is his coach? Like, this is a championship level fight for all the belts, and you're telling them, just knock this guy out already? Like, Kambosos just came there to lay down within a round. And you saw that from the first round when he came just winging all those punches, thinking he was going to take him out. And even the commentators was calling out. They were saying that's an amateurish move by him. So I really don't see why that was his game plan. He had how long to train, and he really thought he was just going to come in and take a guy out within 3 minutes in the first round. So that's just wild. And then going back to the corner in between rounds, his dad is telling him, oh, yeah, I like that shoulder roll stuff that you're doing. I'm like, he's getting hit when he's doing the shoulder roll. It's not even like it's super effective. So, man, I was just looking at the corner coaching. Kambosos' corner was good. They were just telling him, stick to the jab, keep moving, round by round. Good, solid advice. And you even said it when, I think 2 calls ago, you gave, like, concrete advice. You're like, throw 5 right hands, throw 4 right hands this round. If Teofimo's corner would have gave him that type of concrete, solid type of advice, he might have done better. But he was doing the same thing. 1, 2, 3, just loading up. 1, 2, 3, loading up. 1, 2, 3, and he was getting caught. As soon as he got dropped at the end of that first round with that overhand right, the writing was on the wall. Even when he dropped him, I think he dropped him in the 10th round. But I knew, like, Kambosos, he had that spirit in him, so he was going to come back regardless. But yeah, man, that was a highly eventful fight. I enjoyed it.
Let me share this tidbit with you. It's hard to give concrete advisement from the corner when everything you have to offer is built and rooted in gravel. How about that?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact. Nothing solid to grab.
Thank you. You see? And that's what I think of him, the dad, and that's what I think of the son. Someone asked me earlier, what do I think can be done for him to improve going forward? Because his dad is his trainer, meaning he grew up in his dad's home. That way and philosophy of doing things in life is the example that he lives by. He's his own worst element because that's part of his DNA. It has nothing to do with teaching because you can see what he's been taught. Little to nothing. He's ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because he's a grown man and because he has now acquired a little bit of economic improvement for his personal lifestyle, there's not a lot of reception to teaching now. He got to ride this out. And there are some people who can improve in life, but remember, I also said earlier in this show, they're not in the sport to get better, to improve, to have legacy. They're in the sport to get money. One of the first things he did after winning the belts away from Lomachenko was start going around to other networks and promoters and stuff, promotional groups, and try to see what kind of money he could get. And he wasn't even done with Bob Arum yet. You understand? Ed Hearn had to tell him, you're not undisputed, and aren't you with another promoter? What are you doing over here? You know, Ed Hearn, the slimy, greasy Ed Hearn himself, had to tell that guy that. So if Ed Hearn had to tell it to him and his dad, you can only wonder how greasy and grimy these guys really are.
Yep.
He did more talking in the past year and not fighting since he defeated Lomachenko than anyone who had been a fighter from any other era, like a Hector Camacho or something. And you know Hector could talk. But my goodness, these men act like they really accomplished something. They didn't do anything but upset everybody and make people not like them and make people wish for their downfall. And you don't have to wish for people like that downfall. It happens naturally. As soon as he got in the ring with someone who was going to engage, he was going to be in trouble. And where did he find himself in the first round of last night's fight? In trouble. On the canvas.
Yep.
Karma is a son of a gun, bro. That's what it is. Now, they can take the loss and go back and try to bring some other people in their camp. But I'm going to tell you something. As a man of integrity, I wouldn't want to work with the guy. I wouldn't want to have nothing to do with his dad. He's been insulting to too many aspects of what I hold dear to myself, you know? And that's, first of all, love for my own people. Secondly, my love for the sport of boxing. They've shit on all of that. So why would I work with them? And that's a message to those out there that they're going to go and try to run up on and meet with behind the scenes and all of that. If you have integrity, do like Angelo Dundee used to say when Ali or any of his fighters would have a guy up against the ropes and beating him up, and the guy was ready to be knocked out, he'd yell, "Let him fall, let him fall." That means you step back out of the way. Don't smother your work and let the guy fall to the canvas. Don't let him reach out and grab you and hold on and survive. You keep a certain amount of distance between you and the opponent, and when you've hurt him, you stay just out of range where he can't grab you. You get shots off, get off to an angle or something, and don't let him reach out and grab, tie you up to hold and survive. That's an old technique that a lot of these young guys don't know nothing about today. Let him fall. Let T.O. and his dad fall. No parachutes.
Yeah, you're completely right. Completely right. Yeah, you had me when you said the whole thing was rooted in gravel. I was like, damn, you're right.
Yeah.
They're kind of doomed for the beginning.
You ever grab gravel and pick it up? It's like sand. It falls through your fingers and everything, right?
Yeah.
You ever grab concrete? Has weight and density to it, right? Girth. It has, something of substance. It's like, wow, it's different than gravel. Now, where do you establish your foundation? In concrete or gravel? I tell you, man, when I talk about boxing, I say it straight away. It can sound like you're insulting somebody or that you just don't like, but anyone who comes to those conclusions is ignorant to begin with. Because what I give you, you can take it to the bank. What I tell you, it don't apply just to this sport that we speak of. It applies to life. Huh?
It's true. That's true. Hey, what you think? How do you think you would do if you went to like Reynoso's camp?
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
Do you think Teofimo would do well if he went to somebody like Reynoso?
No. The reason why is because he's too damn ignorant. He won't listen, bro. All of that you saw is who he is. That's not an act. And Reynoso will deal with subjects as long as they have some kind of strength and resolve. T.O. don't have that. T.O., did you ever hear about him a couple years ago when he was crying and boo-hooing about his family didn't like his woman and stuff? He was all on social media. You know?
I remember that.
Yeah. One thing about Reynoso's guys is they got some toughness under the hood. It's like, that doesn't mean they're all good guys. I ain't trying to say that. But I'm saying that T.O. don't have that. And that's a starting point for Reynoso. Valdez, he's a tough kid. Canelo is a tough guy. Sanchez is a tough guy. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a tough guy. Where would T.O. fit in all of that bullshit? You know, with all of his bullshit, I should say. You see what I'm saying?
He kind of be like in the riot category.
You see what I'm saying? And remember, they've already ousted Ryan Garcia. Canelo has come out and said, hey, if this kid would focus up, he can possibly do something, but he ain't really trying to be a fighter or what. Canelo said it, and I ain't heard very many people talk about it, do no videos on it or anything. But he said it about Ryan. Ryan might be of more sterner consternation than T.O. And that's horrible.
Maybe. That is.
So, you know, those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hit the nail on the head. Hey, man. Glad I called in. Thank you for the call. I'm still waiting to get back in the chat rooms. I got to wait like 5 more weeks, but as soon as that lifts, I'm in there.
Yeah, man. Do me a favor and write something in the comment section, not in the chat, but in the comment section on this particular video, and I will highlight that and keep you in mind so that when you come in, you know, I make sure I shout you out and acknowledge that you made. I may drop that time down. I put it up for a specific reason when we had like the Canelo fight and stuff, because, you know, you get a lot of those race baiting commenters and stuff like that. So that's why I had extended the time. I usually only do 4 weeks, but since we had this squeeze of fights over this fourth quarter of the year, I just didn't want trolls coming, you know. But I'll definitely make it available for you by, you know, just write something in the comment section after this video, and that way I can, you know, I highlight that and I know who you are, and, you know, when I make the adjustment on the subscriber time length, you'll be able to get in there.
All right. Appreciate that. I'll do that. Thanks, man.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger, bro.
All right. Sure. Take it easy.
Peace. All right. Another great call, man. Another great call. One thing about this show, we do get some very good calls that can keep the conversation driving forward, talking about this good boxing, man. Boxing and barbecue. I see you out there, bro. Robert Hill is out there. Who else we got? Jersey 732. A lot of comments. I'm just kind of going back up, but yeah, the line's still open. We still got a few minutes. If somebody else want to call in, talk about this or whatever's on your mind, let's do it. Let's do it. Nobody got anything to say, huh? We got all these people out here and nobody wants to call in. We got people crank calling, you know, but nobody want to talk the real thing about boxing. It just goes to show you, man. People play. People play games. Well, I can get ready to shut it down because Stormybman gonna get him something to eat. Got to put some vittles in the belly. Because y'all know I was up late, then had to get up to get the show going. So that's one thing about being dedicated to this. You know, I do my best, but at the same time, it's like, oh boy. It's not enough hours in the day to do the things you like to do. So, not enough hours in the day. But this has been a great show, man. I mean, you guys came out, showed a lot of support early on. You know, I'm looking at, I got a few things out there. Wow. And next week we got some more I'm just reading some of you guys' comments in the chat, man. You guys are funny, man. Cop Aborigine says, I can't call in. I mean, sister pissed off. Boxing and Barbecue says, I just tried. It wouldn't let me in. Yeah, Boxing and Barbecue. I did shut that off, but I can open it up for just Boxing and Barbecue. Because if I'm not mistaken, you tried to get in last week and you couldn't. So let me fix this for Boxing and Barbecue. Boxing and Barbecue, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'll let you come in. Go ahead. Okay, we got 214 in the building. Who we got?
What's going down, Stormy?
Is this B&B?
I'm sorry, yes, my fault. Need some courtesy. Yeah, this is Boxing and Barbecue.
Okay, what's good with you, bro?
Ain't nothing, man. Great show as always. I'm listening in and whatnot. I don't really have too much to say. I was gonna call and talk some trash about the fight last week by Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. But, you know, this has been such a great weekend of boxing. I don't even want to spoil it with that conversation. I don't even want to mess up the ambiance. You know what I mean? But the whole Teofimo Lopez fight, I think it was a good fight. I just hope that Kambosa fight Devin, if not the next fight, but the fight afterwards, you know what I'm saying? So we can try to get some type of undisputed, you know what I mean, some good things coming in boxing. I think, like I commented off in your comment section, I think the herd is thinning a little bit. You know, we got Ryan out of here. Well, he's not necessarily out of here, but, you know, he's on the back burner. We got Tio out of here, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll get some pretty good fights in the near future, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we've been on a tear this last quarter of the year, man. Great boxing, you know? Great boxing.
Yeah, it has. And I remember, like, towards the summertime, you know, a lot of stuff was falling through. And, you know, the consensus around the community is like, damn, we can't get no good boxing. You know what I mean? All the fights are horrible. And for these past, at least for the month, we done had some pretty good fights. You know what I mean? I can't really complain too much.
Right.
A couple fights didn't work out my way. You know what I mean? I didn't get my Earl fight. You know what I mean? The Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford fight. I was hoping for a little bit more on that one. The Wilder situation, I was thoroughly pissed off on that situation. But you can't win them all. It's all good though.
Yeah, I'm happy with how the year has finished up strong for us. And as I stated on the post-fight show last night, I was like, even the women's boxing has picked it up, man. Very good quality women's fights over the past couple of months, man. Very good quality fights. And more the same on the horizon. We got Clarissa Shields coming up next week.
Yeah.
I'm loving this, man. I'm loving it,
Yeah, it's not too much to complain about. I think because everybody was pretty much on the same page with regard to the whole TO situation, you didn't get a lot of, calls regarding people, disputing one another. You know what I mean? It's not like a hot button subject like a EJ versus Bud. You know what I'm saying? So I think pretty much the consensus around the boxing community is, TO go somewhere and lay down in the hole and go away.
Yeah, put some dirt on top of them. That's right.
Put some dirt. Cover yourself up in dirt and hold your breath.
It's like, see, had he not been so disrespectful, man, I wouldn't have such venom for him. But my venom is legit because he's been disrespectful. Yeah. And not only has he been disrespectful for the sport of boxing, he's been disrespectful to individuals in boxing, individuals who I hold in high regard. And then he's also been disrespectful to us, you know what I mean, personally. Yeah. And I don't dig that, man. I don't dig that. And just the way he has moved since he acquired those belts from Lomachenko's, and see, let this be a lesson to people. I spoke about Wilder giving Fury an opportunity, but I'll go back and also give the example of like Lomachenko avoiding Devin Haney and giving this kid the opportunity. Lomo gave this kid Haney's opportunity, and that's what's wrong with the sport of boxing. The sanctioning bodies allowed him to escape fighting Devin Haney and took a fight that he thought would be an easier fight in Teofimo, but he enters the fight and for half of the fight doesn't fight. And so he ran out of rounds as he was coming on, but Teofimo had too much of a heavy lead out front. Well, that's both Teo and Vasily Lomachenko. Hopefully they'll both be on the outside looking in, because Devin Haney right now and George Kambosos are the men in the division. And hopefully they can get it on at some point and still continue to freeze those two idiots out. Lomachenko for not giving Haney his opportunity. See, Haney is on a come up, right? He's a legitimately good young fighter, but we don't know how good until somebody who supposedly got the luster gives him the shot. Vasily intentionally avoided that, canceling an opportunity for this man to have it and establish his own legacy. You see? And let's not forget this. Legacy is important. At some point when you're not around anymore, that will be what's representing of you. When people look back, and remember, as long as they don't give you a legacy opportunity, they can always hang over your head or make these disrespectful comments like, well, who have you fought? What have you done? You see what I'm saying? Well, you're not allowing him to the dance. You understand? Everybody else in there doing the robot and the running man and everything at the party, but you won't let him in so he can show you something new. You understand? You done locked the door when he outside. Hey, can I come in and dance too? No, man, we good. You cutting off his legacy.
Yeah.
Because he come in and he break out with a dance and everybody say, oh, that's a new move. Hey, I like that. Now they ain't thinking about you no more. They thinking about the new dude.
Yeah.
You see the analogy I give to make it make sense?
Yeah. You said just like a coach. That's all I'm laughing.
That's it. I am a coach. And that's the thing. That's why I'm saying the things that I'm saying, because it's like you can't fool me with the BS. Vasily Lomachenko caused all of this problem. He caused it. Because if he had just fought Devin Haney would be the man with the belts.
Lomachenko, he caused it, but WBC they didn't help the situation either by adding that old franchise situation to the mix neither.
Well, that's even different set of problems, bro. It is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't be the problem if Vasily fights the fight.
True.
See,
you're
this
right.
is how you know that they don't want certain individuals to be in that type of position of power. But you give a irresponsible ignoramus of a family in Lopez that opportunity, and they've done nothing but stink up the place with their ignorance and BS.
Yeah,
and
man,
now that he's had his ass handed to him, we're supposed to be like, oh, what? Like someone wrote in my comment section from my show last night, my post-fight show, they wrote in the comment section today, they said, oh, why kick a man when he's down and this and that? I was like, are you kidding me? Not only do we kick him when he's down, we fucking bury his ass. Because that ain't good enough for him or his daddy. You see what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you got an ignoramus of a person to write a comment like that. Why would we kick a person when they down? Did you not hear him disrespecting other fighters? Did you not hear him calling people out of their names and calling them the N-word and this and that? Did you not hear the disrespect for the sport of boxing? Did you not see him show up at Canelo Alvarez post-fight press conference with his own belts and slide over to try to take pictures and this and that? Did you not see all this foolishness? Where was your voice saying, kick him out of here? So you gonna ask me, why would I kick a dude when he's down? Man, don't fire me up no more, because I'll kick you out of my damn channel, because that person wrote that. I could have blocked and deleted, but it's in there. I left that message in there, and I just laugh. Because that's an ignorant-ass statement, bro.
Yeah,
These two men I explained earlier in the show, they in the sport for a money grab, bro. That's all they in there for. And they probably had a certain dollar amount, which is why they went around to different networks and everything to try to secure a bag. Because this is how people like that, they think they, street smart or whatever, trying to come up. They probably had a dollar figure, you understand, that they wanted for themselves, and then we can get out this game.
Yeah,
But
I mean, they had a, I don't mean to cut you off, but they had a little leverage, you know what I'm saying? They just kind of overplayed their hand, you know what I mean? If that's what you wanted, I mean, that's cool, you know what I mean? But you ain't got to be a dirtbag about, trying to get what you want, you know what I mean?
And that's exactly what they've been, dirt bags.
Yeah.
But guess what? They ended up in body bags last night, thanks to George Kambosos, man. Absolutely, 1,000%. Salute to George Kambosos, bro. Salute to that brother. He's a superhero in my eyes, because he saved boxing at 135, bro.
Oh, man, yeah. But that's all I have, Story, man. I ain't going to keep you. I'm going to be listening to you for the rest of the day. I'm sure you're going to be on a little bit later on. I see you out and about, but I just want to call in and holler at you real quick. I ain't want nothing too much.
Hey, man, I appreciate your call, Boxing and Barbecue, man.
Hey,
Yeah, we
for
still
sure,
gonna do
man.
that dine and dish. It's just been so much boxing, I ain't had a chance to do anything else. I haven't even had a chance to do one of my kung fu joints, bro. So I ain't forgot about you, man.
I understand you got a lot of stuff going on too. I made some good food this weekend though. I made some pilau and some curry mango. Pretty
Oh
good
man.
too.
Hey man, tell me about it. Talk dirty to me before we get off of here. How'd it turn out?
Oh man, it turned out good. Off of the chicken that you put off in pilau, you gotta season it overnight. You gotta season it for a while with your green seasons and stuff. It's like a whole little process you gotta do in order to make it. You gotta brown your brown sugar. You know what I'm saying? You gotta season your meat up real good. You know what I'm saying, for at least a day. I make my own green seasoning from scratch. It's like a West Indian Caribbean thing my auntie showed me how to do, but yeah, it's pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
I'm not gonna go too far into it, but just know that it was tasty. You know what I mean? So I'll be eating on that today while I listen to y'all talk trash on this boxing thing.
Yeah, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, when you start talking like that, man, Stormybman like to eat, bro. Ain't no lie about that. And when I hear you talking about that stuff, you be preparing and marinating and everything, man, my toes start curling up like I just took a bite or something, man. I'm like, yeah.
All right, Stormy, I'm gonna let you get out of here.
All right, man. Peace to you. Thanks for the call, man. And we'll catch you up next time.
For sure. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Peace.
Peace.
Yes, sirree. That's boxing and barbecue, man. That brother be preparing some stuff over there. Woo-wee. That's what's up. But yeah, man, we're going to get on up out of here. Thank you for everybody that called in today and, support the show, man. I can see we've got some great stuff on the horizon as well, talking about this boxing that's coming up next week. We're going to have some good discussion on that as well. Man, I'm really happy for today's show, man. Great show, man. Great show. And salute to everybody out there. Give yourselves a round of applause because I can't do this without you guys. And when you come out and support me like this, I'll always have something to deliver for you. But yeah, it takes us all to do this together, man. It takes us all to do this together. So we're going to get on up out of here. I'll catch you guys later. And peace to everybody. Salute to the LDBC. And thanks again. Catch you guys next week. Peace.